Hey guys, good evening, people. Good evening to all. Am I audible and visible clearly, guys? Just tell me in the chat, please, real quick. Am I audible, guys, to you all? Is class live is not playing? We are live, guys. And I think okay. I think I'm not visible clearly. There is some issue today with my camera. Something has happened, so the video would not be proper. Am I audible clearly? Hi, good evening, people. Hi, Rahul. Audible? Okay. So, guys, just bear for today with me. I will close my I will close my video and speak to you and explain you about the attendance part. Okay. Yeah. I know there is some issue with my camera, so I have uh, not off. I have turned off my camera. Okay, so, hope guys you all are excited for this boot camp as we are starting with Zomato Backend API with Node.js and SQL. It's a 2 days project workshop and we will learn many more things today, and also will try to complete the whole project workshop within this 2 days. Each day it would be 2 hours session, and in total it's a 4 hour session like for 2 days, and same timing for tomorrow also from 5 to 7. Hope you all will be there with us till the end and build this amazing project. Until then, I will move ahead and share my screen quickly and explain you about to mark your attendance and everything. I can see there are many queries in the chat. So, is my screen is visible to you all? Hello, guys. Is my screen visible to you all? Please let me know. And I can see there is very less count today. Please call your friends, family, and members who are willing to learn this tech, like this projects and everything. So please call them in the bootcamp, and also share your like certificates when the bootcamp ends with people and LinkedIn. You can tag Let's Upgrade on your LinkedIn post too. My It is visible. Okay, thank you guys. Guys, put some emojis or show some excitement in the chat. I can see there are very less people in the chat also. There is no excitement. And okay, so we'll move ahead. So here guys, you can see for attendance there's one link. We call it as a one link. Here you can find it in the chat. Click on this link. Sorry, yeah, you can find it in the description box. Click on this link. You will be redirected to the page where you enroll yourself. So I think I have not enrolled for this program. Okay, my net is very slow. It's not working. Okay, so we'll move ahead. And here is the all-in-one documentation. This In this doc, you can find the prerequisites videos that you need to learn, like bootcamp videos, links, playlist link that you need to learn for this project building workshop. We have provided all the links and everything that you need. And here is the enrollment and attendance link. This is the doc link. This is the session links, and this is the step-by-step process page where you can just get to know how to mark your attendance and get the certificate. And from here also you can mark your attendance. It's not working yet. Okay, so it has opened. So guys, this is the attendance page. Here you can see day one title and mark attendance toggle. Click on this toggle. Here is the rating scale from 0 to 10. Give it according to yourself how much you want to mark it. It's basically a feedback point. And here is the improvement feedback box. Like if you have any feedback for us, you can put it here. And for now I'll give nothing and submit my attendance. After submitting the attendance, reload the page. Here you can see the progress bar increase. It will increase as you mark your attendance. And here you will get the to download certificate on day 2. So tomorrow you will be able to download your certificate also. And this is a channel and Discord link. You can join us there to know many more upcoming boot camps, project workshops, and daily updates and everything. So make sure that you are joining our this channel. And here is a student ambassador program which is of 1 month. It is a 1 month batch, and here we there is no fee to pay, but you get the incentives and swags, and you get coupons, you get to play games and everything. You get to attend workshops, and many more things are there. So make sure that you are enrolling for this thing, and if you have any doubt, anything, you can ask us here in the chat. From scratch, no, but you need to, yes, but you need to learn the prerequisites, that is Node.js and SQL's basics and everything. So just go on the doc link, and yeah, there you can find the playlist link. Any more questions? How to get certificate? Mark your attendance today and tomorrow, and get the certificate tomorrow. So, okay, I think there is no more doubt, nothing. I will call our trainer for this project workshop, who is Sitish, sir. Hope you may all know about him. Hello, sir.
Hello. Hi,
Hi,
good evening, everyone.
hi, Kshitish, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Uh, so, I will. Today my camera is not working, so I have not
Yeah, yeah.
turned it on. So, could you please explain that about the project workshop? That what are we going to learn? How we are going to do it and everything?
Okay. So, yeah, hi, hello, everyone. So, today actually we will be building, just give me a minute. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, today
So
we will be,
you,
yes. Am I audible?
I was saying, sir, you go ahead with this. I will take a leave,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
and yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So yes, hi everyone. Good evening, everyone. So today actually we will be working on a project that is, as you all are aware of, we will be building Zomato Backend API. So this would be a 2-hour session today and followed by a 2-hour session tomorrow. So here we will be using Node.js for building this particular API for Zomato. We will not be integrating each and every function that Zomato has, but we will try to cover as much as possible. So yeah, so the prerequisite for this particular bootcamp is like you should be well versed with MySQL, as we will be using MySQL as the database here, and along with that Node.js, as we will be using Node.js as the server side language for interacting with the database. So I hope you guys are aware of the concepts of Node.js as well as MySQL. Uh, so it would be good if I get to see some charts. Let me just quickly open this on my phone so that I can read the charts as well. One second. Yeah, so I have opened it up. Let me quickly mute it. Okay, so yeah, I see some of my old students are there. Abhijit is there. He says hello, hi Abhijit. Uh, okay, someone is saying my voice is very low. Now is it better? I guess it might be better now. I'll keep the microphone near to my mouth so it would be better. Okay, so Soham says, please explain in short whatever basic application will be required. Just for quick recap. Yeah, sure, I will. Okay, so now everyone is able to listen to me properly. Fine. Okay, so let us start. Firstly, I'll introduce you then like whatever prerequisite softwares we will be requiring in this particular bootcamp. After that, I will start with a system design. Like I'll design first whatever backend database tables that we will be creating and how I will be linking them. Okay, so let's go ahead. So those who are not aware, we will be requiring Node.js for this particular bootcamp. So you need to install Node.js. Most of you might be aware how to install Node.js, but those who are not, we can simply, I'll just share my screen. Okay. Okay, so I have shared my screen. Let's see when it is visible. I hope my screen is visible because this YouTube is taking some time. Let me know when my screen is visible. Okay, it is not visible till now. Showing you are on the show. Let me try again. Okay. Most of them are telling not visible. Let's wait. Yeah, now it is visible. Okay, so now let's go ahead. So I'll be telling how to install Node.js for those who are not aware. So simple Node.js download. So depending on your operating system, you can download Node.js from their official website. Okay. So most of you might be knowing how to download. Otherwise, you can go to their page and download Node.js using this pre-built installer. Okay, so you can do it along with me, it would be better, so that uh, so that you can like continue coding along with me. Okay, so just go ahead and download Node.js. So once you are done, let me know. Okay, I'll give you guys 2 minutes. Just install Node.js quickly. After that, we'll be starting with our downloading other requirements. Abhishek is asking, can we download on Chromebook? Chromebook, let me see, whatever. Chromebook runs on Android, right? So I guess Linux would be the operating system there. So you can, I guess. Okay, Kiran is telling it won't work. Okay, so I'm not sure about Chromebook, how and if we can. Okay. Okay, you just everyone please install Node.js. Followed by that, you need to install MySQL. So you need to install MySQL. Simply search for install MySQL. Okay, so here you can go and download the MySQL. You can select your operating system over here. And 1 second, this is not the correct one. MySQL. 1 second, I forgot what was that one. Let me quickly check. This is not the one. Yeah, this one, MySQL community server. This is what you need to install. Okay, so everyone please kindly install these two applications. After that we'll proceed. Okay. Soham is telling, will we use command line for MySQL? So actually we'll be using both command line as well as MySQL workbench. So I have installed workbench as well on my system. So this is MySQL workbench. You guys can also install MySQL workbench. So it gives you like UI access to MySQL. So it's better approach actually. Fine. So Aditya is asking, can we host this website as well? So this will not be a website, this will just be backend APIs. So we can host these. We can use any like free hosting platform that on which we can host it. If time permits, I'll explain it to you how we can host it tomorrow. Okay. Fine, I guess everyone is done with installing these two things. The next thing that you can install is this MySQL workbench. Okay, so this is where you can install. I'll quickly paste these three links in the chat. If anyone sees it later, they can check it out. So this is for Node.js. This is for your MySQL server. This is for MySQL workbench. Okay, so but I'm not sure if pasting here it would work. I don't know. Fine, I'll leave the links afterwards. Fine, if any issue is there. Cool. So yeah, once you have downloaded, the next thing we have to do is so like if you guys are not aware of how Node.js works and how we create APIs in Node.js, I'll first start with the basics of Node.js. Okay. So very quickly, if you guys might be using some IDE to code na, so I basically prefer Visual Studio Code. So I hope you guys might be also using this. If not, you can use any editor of your choice. Okay, so you can quickly open Visual Studio Code and just like select a new file over here. So it asks for select a language. So since we will be working on JavaScript only, so we'll select JavaScript. Okay, so I'll just save it and I'll name it index.js. I'm saving it on my desktop. Okay, and I'm naming it index.js. So this will be my base file from where everything will be started. Okay, so now coming to whatever like what prerequisites would be required for running our file, like inside Node.js, whatever things we would be requiring. So first thing that we would be requiring is Express. So Express is a framework of of JavaScript, so that we would be installing first. Just a second. Yeah. So we'll be installing Express over here. So for that I'll open terminal and simple command. First of all, I'll navigate to my desktop. Okay, so I navigated to my desktop. So these are basic things like how to work on a terminal or CMD on command line. So these I think you guys might be aware of. So here what I did, I simply navigated to my desktop where my this index file is located. See, it's on my desktop, right? So I have navigated to index.js. Okay. uh, okay, some people are saying Hindi would be more enjoyable, but Hindi actually I'm not permitted to teach in Hindi, so sorry for that. Okay. So now moving ahead, I'll simply install Express. So simple command npm install Express, as we would be requiring this for our backend APIs. Okay, so just this command npm install Express and you would be done installing Express. Okay, so now let's start. So very first thing that we need to do is we need to require this particular library that we have downloaded. So in Node.js we have command require. So require Express. Okay, then const app. So app would be something that would be running our entire application. So how do we run our application? Express, we just like run this function of Express. So here what we do, we are requiring Express and here we are running the function of Express. So now our app is ready to run all the functions which are present inside this particular Express library. Okay, so one of the function that we have is listen. So app.listen. So what it does, it starts our server. So first thing that we need to put over here is port, like on which port we need to start our server. So I'm going to define the port right now over here only. Okay, so let's say 8080. So port 8080 I'm going to start my server. So port, okay, and then a error callback. Error callback. So I'm going to simply check over here that if I am getting any error, okay, then simply console.log error and give some space and put the error. Okay, Otherwise, simply tell me uh, server started successfully fully on port, and then add your port over here. Okay, so that's done. Like this is the very basic server, like how we can start a server in Node.js. I guess most of you would be like familiar with this format of starting a server in Node.js. If not, so this is how we like create a simple server using Node.js. Okay, so I'm going to start this server now. So to start it, simple command node and the file name. So my file name is index.js, right? So index. You can put .js or not. It is completely up to you. It would run without that also. So see, I got a message saying server started successfully on port 8080. Okay, so my server is now running successfully on port 8080. So now let's cross like quickly verify it if it is running or not. So for that I'll go to the browser. I'll simply type localhost 8080. Okay, so this is the place where my server is running. So if I open it, see, I get a response telling cannot get forward slash. Okay, so that means like I haven't created any API, right? So it is giving me this particular response. So now I'll show you what happens if you just close the server. So if I close it over here, right, and if I run it again, you see you will get another page. See, it says this site can't be reached. Okay, so this shows you that your server is not running, but if you will run it from here, then only it will run. Okay, so now it is running. So now if you'll refresh, you will get this particular message. Fine. So I hope uh, okay, Soham is telling, can you get a bit slow please? Okay, no issues, Soham. So I hope till here you guys are comfortable regarding how a Node.js server runs and all. Kindly let me know in the chat please, because I am not sure na, like from which background most of you people are. Like, have you previously been attending LetsUpgrade classes or not, or do you have any background of Node.js, JavaScript? Okay, so most of the people are telling understood. Okay, uh, fine. So if it is clear till here, so now let me quickly tell you how people, like how we create simple APIs. Now what is an API? API is nothing but which is going to give you some data whenever you are going to, like, you have a front end and you have a back end. So front end is going to ask, like whenever you open a front end, it is going to ask for some data from the back end, right? So back end has to give some data. So from where it will give, it has some APIs. So that APIs, when it will run, it will fetch the data from the database and give it back to the backend. Okay, so we are going to create a very simple API. So I'm here going to create a simple get API that gives you some data in response. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do. uh, Going well. Okay. Sir, will you also explain basics in which required as you go forward? Sure, I will. I'll try as much as possible. It's easy. Let's go forward. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So some people are strong in JavaScript, so for them it would be easy. But for those who are new, I'm going to start with very basics. So see, as I told, like now everything would be done on app because I have instantiated Express on app. So whatever functions are available inside Express, that I can use using app. So one of the function was listen. Okay, so another function similarly is app.get. So I'm going to create a simple get API. So get API which is going to give me some data. So now coming to what I'm going to type over here, this is the endpoint. So endpoint means like going to the website, like if you say, if you consider it as a website, so after this I have to write some endpoint clicking on which I should get some data. Okay, so that endpoint I am going let's say I'm giving test, simple test. Okay, and next to it I have to write a simple JavaScript function. So those who are familiar with the arrow syntax, this is how we write functions in JavaScript. So request and response. So these are the two parameters it is going to take, and this is an arrow function. Okay. So what I am going to do over here is I don't let's do one thing. Let's console.log whatever request also we will be sending over here. Okay. So request.body, actually whatever comes inside the request.body. So request.body, I'm going to simply log request.body whatever I will be sending. Actually in a get API it is not required. So okay, so that you guys don't get confused, I'll remove this simply. So let it be request over here. I'm simply interested in sending a response over here. So response dot status. Now what are status? Status are codes. So whenever you hit any API, you get different types of codes. If it is successful, you will get 200 or 201 or like that. Okay. And if it is in error, you will get 401 for unauthorized, 404 for not found, like that. Okay. So send. So what we have to do, we have to send a response with status 200. So what I'm going to send over here, I can simply send any string or object or anything. So let's say I'm going to hello, I'm going to simply send a string hello from LetsUpgrade. So simply I'm going to send this. Okay, so this API is now ready. So what I'm going to do now, I have to run this particular file again so that these changes like reflect on my server. Okay, so I'll close this, Control C, and I'll run it again. Okay, so now my server is started on port 8080. Okay, so till here, if it is clear, I'll show you the demo now. So this is my endpoint, right? /test. So when I'll request this endpoint /test, you see what you'll get. I'll simply press enter. So you see, you got that data, right? Hello from LetsUpgrade. So was this clear? I'll wait for everyone in the chat. If it is clear, then only I'll move forward. Otherwise, we can take it again. Clear. Okay. If anyone is not clear, any doubts, you can ask me. I'll tell you. And this was a simple example of simply sending a string. So here we can send like an object also. Okay, so that also I'll show you how we can send an object. Sir, is it like props? Are you talking about React.js props or what, Adit? What if we change the status number, sir? Okay, so if you'll change the status number now, whatever API response that you'll get, that would be different kind of. Like here you might have got status 200. Okay, I'll show you. I'll open Postman and I'll show you what happens if you change the status number. I'll show you every status. Fine. Okay. So Adit is telling yes, sir. Okay. So no, it is not like props. So props are something different. Those are dependent on the components. These are different. Like this is API response. This cannot be compared to props. Okay. So as I told you, like we simply sent a string, right? Now if we wish to send an object, we can simply send an object. So let's say message. This is an object. Okay. I hope you might like every one of you are aware of the JSON format. So this is a simple JSON notation. So this is what I am sending. Okay, so now if I save it, I'll run my server again. Okay, so my server is now again started. Now if I'll go and I'll refresh, so you see you got an object. Okay, so you see you got an object, right? And there is an option of pretty print. I checked it for the first time. So you see it is properly converting it into a JSON structure, right? So this is how you can send objects. So like what is the advantage of sending as an object? You can send multiple data. I have an object, I'll send, let's say phone. So let's say the value here I'll be sending like this. Okay, so now if I'll send this particular data, and if I'll refresh this page, you see you got message as well as phone number. So you got multiple data, right? So this is the advantage of sending this as a object. So Khushyal is telling speak loud. I'm already speaking very loud. Okay, Gautam is telling please repeat. Okay, I'll repeat. Okay, Mohit is telling you can use Nodemon. Actually, yes, I can use Nodemon, but yeah, most of the people here won't be familiar. I'll explain to everyone what Nodemon is, then I'll use Nodemon. Okay, so then dark matter is telling can we send multiple objects here? Yes, you can send multiple objects as well. Okay, so yes, like that we can do. Let me now quickly explain Nodemon. Actually, yes, it will be beneficial for everyone. So as you installed Express, right, in a similar manner you can install Nodemon. So I'll do what? I'll simply navigate to my desktop and I'll simply install Nodemon, and I'll tell you what Nodemon is. npm install -g, like I'll install it globally, so I'm using this -g. Okay, Nodemon. Okay, so Nodemon gets installed. Now the advantage of using Nodemon is I'll stop my server, and instead of using the command node file name, I'll use Nodemon file name. Okay, okay, so now my server is started. Now what will happen if I'll make even a simple change over here, right? Hello from LetsUpgrade to everyone, and I'll save this file. I'm just going to save it. See, this server automatically restarted. I didn't have to restart it. Okay, so now what I'll just simply refresh, and you see hello from LetsUpgrade to everyone, phone this. Fine. So I got the response. Okay. Sir, could you tell commands in Windows also? It is showing no such command line is there. So Raghu, for which command you got? For npm or for what? Okay, so Gautam, Mohit said you need, yes. I first of all I told everyone that we need to install Node.js, so then you won't get that error that command not found. Okay. Then Gautam was telling please repeat. So I'm not going to repeat, but yeah, actually I'll be explaining it with the use of another API. So as we created a get API, so simply I'm going to create a post API. Okay, so app.post. So what is the difference between get and post? So get will help you to get some data from the server. Post will help you to post some data to your server as well. Like let's say if you go to a website and you register yourself there, so you type your username and password there, right? So data is getting from you to the server, where it is getting fetched into the database, and depending on the username and password you are getting a response, either positive or negative, right? It happens like that, right? So data should be posted from your front end to back end as well. So when you need to send data from your front end to back end, how will you do that? You will use a post API. So let's say I'm simply creating a login endpoint. Okay, login and simple request response. Okay, so what I'll do here, now I'm simply going to log console.log request.body. Okay, that simple thing I'm going to do is request. Now what is request? So whatever you will be requesting from the front end, that will be the request. Response was what you were sending from your backend to your front end. So this is your backend, right? Everything that is happening, this is your backend, and this was your front end, kind of front end, not exact front end, but kind of front end. So now if you are you want to send something from your front end to your backend, so that will go inside your request. So request.body will bring that. Okay, so one thing, if you want to send data in object format, you'll need to, like JSON format, you'll need to use express.json. So that is one middleware So this is how you can use it. So this is nothing to worry about. You can simply follow this syntax and use it every time. Okay, app.use express.json. It is a middleware that will help your app to parse object JSON structure. Okay, so simply for that I have written this command. uh, don't take much tension about it. Okay, just follow it. Okay, so this API of mine is ready. So let me quickly test this API now. Okay, fine. So for testing this, we don't have any front end ready right now, right? From where we can like input some data. So to replicate that, we have a software called Postman. So this you can install, like this is also available on web. You can install Postman. Okay. So this is a software, name is Postman, you can use. So see how we can test over here. Simply you can go to new HTTP request. Okay, new HTTP request. I'll close the old one. Okay, and untitled. So here I'll change it to post request. Here I'll give the address of my server. So it is localhost 8080, right? Slash. So the endpoint that I used here was where is my file? Slash login, right? So I'm going to put login over here. Fine. So what we need to pass here over here, like I need to send something, right? So for that you can go to body, like what we need to pass in the body, select raw and convert this into JSON. Okay, so here I'll send an object. So let's say email, let's say john@gmail.com. Okay, then another field would be password. So this is my JSON format. So let's say let's upgrade @123. So this is the password and this email. So now I'm going to simply send. Okay, so let's see what happens. Since I haven't sent any response, let me close unnecessary files. So since I haven't sent any response, you see I haven't sent any response, right? This time here you don't see any response, so you won't be getting any response right now. It's just that whatever data you are sending from here, that would be visible in the console of your VS Code. So let me send it. So you see sending request is coming but no response is coming because I haven't sent anything. But you see in the console you got whatever data I sent from Postman. I sent this data from Postman, right? So this Postman is nothing, it is replicating your front end. So it is kind of your front end. So from front end I sent two fields, email and password. So I am able to access them in my backend. See, I just like logged them, so I am able to see them over here, right? So till here it is clear. Now depending on your operation, let's say you want to check if this email exists in your database or not, you will check if this email exists. Then you will check if that password matches with this particular email address password. If yes, then you will simply send a response dot status 200 dot send logged in successfully, like this. Any response you can send, as I told you, it can be an object, string, anything. Okay, I'll save this. Now it is started again. Okay, now I'll go back and I'll run this API again. This time you will see an response over here. See, so you see you got a response, logged in successfully. So this is because, and here you might have got your email and password. So this is the very basic example of APIs. So I had to cover this because before understanding basic knowledge of APIs, you can't proceed with uh, applications such as Zomato. So that is why I gave you basic details on APIs. And yeah, someone asked me about a different status code. I'll cover them as well. So till here it is clear. First everyone let me know if it is clear. If anything is not clear, you guys can ask me. Okay, Aditya is Aditya is telling, sir, can you explain that get and post part? Okay. So see, The difference between get and post is, in get you will be mostly getting some data. You can get request body, but it is always recommended to send data in a post request. So whenever you want to send some data from your front end to the back end, you will be using post APIs. And whenever you will be sending and whenever you just want to receive some data from your backend, and you don't want to send any parameters to your backend, in that case you can simply use get API. Okay, so this is the basic difference. Okay, so Kiran is telling it is clear. Only I see very few responses. Are you guys not understanding, or what, or is it too much? Actually, like, I'm using very simple strategies right now to explain. um, I cannot go much simple than this, but yes. So Aditya is telling, sir, what if we use only post? Yes, you can use. There is no objection in using that. But like, since it was made like that, uh, like the APIs were created like that only, the functions were created like that. So it is recommended always to use get API whenever you want to get data without any parameters, and post API whenever you want to fetch data using parameters. Okay. Okay, so if it is clear to most of you, let me quickly cover the status response. So someone asked me, what if I send different status response? So let's say passed 401 status response over here, right? In my get API slash test, I am sending 401 response. So let's go to our postman and quickly check it slash test and change it to get, and I click on send. So you see, you get status 401 unauthorized. Okay, so you will be getting data, but you will be, the status code that you will be getting, that will be different. So this actually comes handy. Like, this will be an error, well, when you will be receiving it on the front end, right? So you'll be getting an error code. So you can check the status code, and depending on that you can redirect your front end to different pages. So that is where it comes in handy. Okay, so here you got 401 unauthorized. If I would have sent 201, you would have got some different response message. Let's try again. So you see, you got 201 created. So it happens when you are creating some data in your database, adding some data in your database. In that case, we mostly use 201. Okay, otherwise mostly, let's say, when you are fetching some data, we simply use 200. Okay, in 200 we simply get status okay, status 200 okay, fine. So you can read more about this on web, you will get more details. See here also you get some description about it, why we use this, and why what all different status we use. Okay, so that was about the status response. So here I have simply covered two APIs, get, post. Similarly there are two more, put as well as delete. So put is used for replacing data, and delete is used for deleting data from the database. Okay, so those I will not be covering over here right now. Okay, I gave you the basics of APIs. So after that I'll be starting with your system design for Zomato backend. So I hope everyone is clear till here. If yes, then I'll start with the Zomato backend database design. Okay, so dark matter is telling, can we use post without sending object and using only REST? Yes, you can use it. No issues in that. If I'll 1 minute, my laptop is low on battery. Let me quickly put it on charger. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So I'm back. Kiran is telling low battery. Yes, low battery, Kiran. Okay. So let us start with the server design. Actually, like, I would like to keep it more interactive over here, because I want to see how much you can explore and how much you can imagine yourself. Okay, so let's start. So tell me, you guys only tell me ki if you are yourself going to let me switch. Yeah, so if you are yourself going to create something as Zomato backend, like Zomato's backend, what all fields, what all tables you think you would be requiring? So let's say you have a database. So in that database, what all tables you will be creating in case of Zomato, in case of a service like Zomato? So just think and let me know in the comments. Okay. Then we'll visualize it together. Okay, I'll use free form. So so I'll create a board over here and I'll help you visualize it. Okay, so let's I see dark matters is telling customers, correct? So customers, let's say customer is what? Customer is you or me, someone as an individual, right? So an individual will have what data? Let's say they will have their email ID, phone number, name, address, these kind of stuff only, right? So there will be a table, that will be a user table, let's say, correct? In a database you will be having a user table, right? What all will be there? Gautam is telling, sir, got the concept, but my server is not working. Gautam, individually it would be very difficult to help you, but what is the issue you can ping in the chat. I'll help you if it is a small one. Okay. Okay, so Soumya tells customer, delivery person, sellers. Correct. Sellers as in restaurant. Okay, so restaurant will be the sellers. Customers as in users. Delivery persons as in correct. Yeah, the delivery executives profile. Okay, so correct. Yeah, most of you are telling. Then yeah, Guru Prasad told orders, food items. Correct. So there will be a table that would be catering to the orders. Then food items would be nothing but your menu. Correct. Okay, Mohit Chaudhary says users, restaurants, orders, transactions. Correct, Mohit. Dark matter tells restaurants, food items for each restaurant. Correct. Orders. Yeah. So most of you are like able to imagine it. Yes, it's good. So this is how it happens. System design is nothing but all about thinking. So if you are able to think, first what we have to do, we have to create a rough sketch. So I'm going to create a rough sketch over here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to create a database over here first. Okay, so I'm going to visualize it for you guys. It's nothing that you take stress about. So this is my database. Let's say this is my MySQL database. Okay, so this will be my database. So inside that, inside a database you have tables, right? So first table that I'm going to, as you guys only told me, I'll be using your inputs only. So first table that I would be using here would be, let me quickly change the color of this one, which is visible on this. Okay, it's too bright. Let's go with yellow. Okay, so the first table that I'm going to go with is user table, users. Okay, so it is going to contain all the data related to users. So I'm going to now create some fields, like user table will contain what columns. Okay, so in a table we have columns, right? So what columns it is going to contain? So I'm simply using an arrow over here. I'll link this. So I'm going to create a text box over here. Okay, so I'll be declaring the columns over here. So what, okay, sorry, my voice was low, sorry. Yeah, so columns, so what columns are we going to add? Yes, as you guys now properly told me about the tables. Now tell me, in a user table or a customer table, what all columns do we require? So like, okay, so dark matter told user will contain name, email, phone, password. Correct. uh, so I'll simply create, so name, and I'll reduce the font size of this one. Okay, name, email. Yes, you guys are telling correct only. Okay, I'll reduce the font size slowly. Name, email, phone number, password. Okay, so for now let's create these fields only because like if you in real life scenario the database is like the table is very large, it does not contain only these fields, it contains many fields like your order history, like your address, saved addresses, many things are there, but this is just for login and sign up, like registering and logging in. Okay, so this would be one of the table. Okay. Okay, so Gautam told the test and login thing is not working on browser and on Postman. Okay, I'll let you know. Just wait. Okay. Then Dharmendra says address and maybe Paytm ID for future. Yes, correct. Like like transactions and everything, that would be actually like there would be a primary key to which everything would be linked, like your users, order history, transactions, saved addresses, saved payment methods, all these types of things. Okay. So let me now, oh, 1 minute. So let me quickly now copy this and create another table. So another table for your was for your restaurants. Okay. Okay, so not able to copy this. Okay, so coming to now restaurant. So restaurant, what details will it have? Name, it will have name of the restaurant. Okay, address of the restaurant it will have. Fine. Phone number of the restaurant will be there. Then there would be menu, but menu would be another table. Okay, menu I won't be keeping because menu will have many items, right? So it would be a separate table only. It will not be coming here. It will be linked to it using restaurant ID. So yeah, one thing that we can have is restaurant ID. So every restaurant will be having its ID, restaurant ID. So what other things can we have? Rating. Okay, so then there will be another field for rating, restaurant rating. So what is the rating of that restaurant? So what other field we can have? Any suggestions? Mohit is correct. Order history won't be in user table, it would be in orders table. Correct. Okay, rating, address, restaurants is done. So chalo, let's actually like see 1 hour has already passed, we have 1 hour, right? So let's quickly cover this part today, like users and restaurant part today. Okay, so that you feel yes that we are building something. Okay. So I hope like the visualization is clear to all. So now I'll be converting this into code. Okay, so for converting this into code, simply first what I'll do, I'll create model. So model and all those things, how it is created, I'll explain you guys quickly. So till here it is clear, right? Any doubts? Dark matter says open closed, correct. So there can be a one flag also. Sorry. So let's say uh, status open or closed. So it can be either open or closed. Okay, so like that we can have restaurant. Okay, so most of you are clear with up till here, so let's quickly convert it into code. Okay, so for that we had done till here. I would again now you will need some prerequisites. So actually I will be using SQLize over here to connect to your database. Okay, so also I installed your MySQL workbench, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open MySQL workbench. Uh, Correct. Yes, Kiran told food type non-veg. Yes, actually, like the database here would be very detailed and descriptive. Correct. So I don't know why it is not opening. Yeah, should open. So My MySQL, I installed MySQL, right? That MySQL community server. So it is running on port 3306. So I'm simply going to open it over here. Fine. Okay. So I have created a DB already. If not, you guys can create a database. So it is very simple. You can go over here and create a database from this particular. No, not this is schema. Sorry, not this. Uh, I haven't much used this one. Okay, you can create the database from somewhere. I forgot. Like you get an option of creating the database. Okay, so after you create the database, you get tables option. So here you can right click and create table. So this is all your GUI, like using this graphic user interface. If you want, if you are familiar with SQL queries, you can write the query over here and simply create tables and all those things. Okay, so let me write a query for you guys, so that you guys get familiar. So let's create a user table. Okay, so very first table that we need to create is users. So the query that we use is create table, table name users. Okay, and then we write the fields, right? Well, like column names. I guess we don't use this. Okay, so here I'm going to create different. Lavish is telling, sir, do we get to watch the video later? Yes, it should stay on YouTube, so you can watch it later. Okay, so yeah, so very first thing that I'm going to create is ID. So your ID would be what it would be. It should be your auto increment, not null. Type it would be integer. So integer, not null. Let me just open caps lock. Not null. How you? I am forgetting this. Auto increment is there. I actually am forgetting the queries. Actually, I haven't used from some time. Auto increment is there. Then what about not null? Not null is like that only, right? No, not null is something wrong. If you guys remember not null query, like not null parameter, just let me know in the chat. I have actually forgotten this. Okay, so ID is one thing that I have to add. Then other thing is name, email, phone number and password. So let me quickly add name. So name would be varchar. So this would be not no auto increment, nothing. Not null, but is required. Correct. Mohit says yes. Not null is not necessary, but auto increment. But yeah, in case of my name, I would need it, right? So I just forgot the syntax. Can anyone tell me? Not okay. Simple, not null. Is it correct? No. Let me quickly check on web only. Not null SQL. It's not null only. I don't know why it is not accepting it. What is wrong over here? Okay, yeah. So actually I forgot to add the limit to this varchar. That is why it was giving an error. Fine, this is done. So next to it would be email, phone number, password. So email, it would be again same, varchar and not null. So I'll just copy it. I'll remove the name from here. Then I'll copy it again and change to password. Okay, so what else we had? Phone number. So phone number would be int. Okay, yeah, so we have written the query. Okay, so we have written the query. Let me quickly run this query. So we can run using this button over here. So let's see if it create the table. Okay, no database selected. Okay, so let me cut this and first use database, use db, first db. Database. No, how do we do that? Actually, I have lost touch of MySQL. I've been using MongoDB from a long time, but DB, first DB. No, use first DB. Okay, we don't use DB over here. Okay, fine. Use first DB. Fine. Thank you. Thank you. It was Mohit. Okay. Yeah. So now this is here. So now let me quickly paste that and create the table. Still incorrect table definition. What is wrong in this table? The error. ID should be primary key. Correct. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot primary key over here. Okay. Let's try. Yeah, so now it is done. So our table is created. Why it is not showing over here? It's very strange. I don't know why it is not showing over here. uh, Thank you, Anshuman, regarding this ID should be primary key. It works now. But yeah, I'm not able to. Let me quickly restart this workbench and see if it is fetching the table or not. Yeah, it is fetching. I don't know like how we can refresh over here. I haven't been using it from a long time. Okay, so we have the users table and we have columns and everything ready over here. Fine. Okay, so now my table is ready. Now my next action would be like to convert this into code. Okay, so for that I will be using your Node.js only, and I'll be using SQLize over here for accessing your for connecting your this Node.js to your MySQL database. Okay, so for that what we'll need to install, npm install SQLize. SQLize. I think the spelling is correct. Let me quickly check it once. npm install SQLize. SQLize, it is Z, I guess. Okay. So yeah, so you need to install SQLize over here. Yeah, so it's done. I installed SQLize. Okay, so now my first task would be to like use SQLize in this file only. I'm not going to create a new server. What I'm going to do is I'm simply going to remove these APIs which I have written because they are no longer required. Okay, so what I am going to do, I'm thinking to create a new file only, not this file. So I'll call it JavaScript file only, and I'll save it, and I'll call it dbconnect.js. Okay, so what here we are going to do is we are simply going to connect to our database, okay, using using your code. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to first require SQLize, like we installed it, right, like npm install SQLize. Now we need to bring it to bring SQLize into our uh, code. So simply require. Okay, so this is how we do it. Okay, then after that what we need to do is we have a function of SQLize. So on SQLize is equal to new SQLize. So here we will define the parameters of our database. Okay, so the name of the first field, if you will hover over it, right, it will tell you, actually we can have URL also. Otherwise the parameters that we need to have is, the first parameter would be your database name over here. So if I go to my database name, so the name of my database is first DB. Okay, so I'm going to give first DB. Okay, then the second parameter is the user. So the user is root user. Okay, and then password. So everyone, when you will set up your MySQL on your system, right, so all these things it will ask you, you will have to set it up, and then you'll use that only. So username would be root only, password will be yours. This is my password. Okay, okay, so these things after you do, after that you'll have to run a command, like you'll need to tell the host. So the host here is localhost only, since it is running on localhost 3036, but you don't need to define the port, it automatically identifies it. Okay, and then dialect is an option that you need to define. So dialect here is MySQL. So since we will be using MySQL only for connecting and writing our queries, so we need to define the dialect. So dialect is MySQL. Okay, so these things I have written. So now simply SQLize dot authenticate. So this is the command that you need to use to connect to your database using your code. Okay, so SQLize dot authenticate, and this will return you a promise. Okay, so those who are familiar with JavaScript concept, we have promises. So this is how we handle them. So then what we'll do, sorry, then what we are going to do is simply console.log MySQL connected successfully. Connected to MySQL successfully. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, and like in case it fails, we have a dot catch and we'll catch error. Sorry, sorry, I missed brackets over here. So we'll say console.log unable to connect due to error, and we'll add the error over here, whatever error it will give. Okay, fine. So this is how we are going to create a file that is going to connect to our database. Okay, let me see if you guys are uh, following or not. Okay, so see, this is your config or connect file only, so don't need to put much brain on this. So this is how you will have to follow it every time whenever you are going to connect to your database, right? So this is how you will have to do. You will have to install SQLize first, like installation will happen only once. So you will install SQLize, then you will require it, then you will create a configuration for SQLize where you will add your database name, your username and your password, your host and your dialect. then sequelize.authenticate. So this function will help you to connect to your database. Okay, so now let's run this particular file, db connect. So node db connect. So the guy is asking what is sequelize for MongoDB also we require it. So okay, so for those guys who are familiar with MongoDB, as we have mongoose in MongoDB, right? Similarly, we have sequelize for MySQL. So it helps you to connect with your database and perform operations with your database using Node.js and Express. Okay. Yes, correct. Mohit is correct. It is like ORM. Okay. So let me quickly run this node db connect. So see, it told connected to MySQL successfully. So that means it is able to connect to my MySQL successfully. Actually, if you don't want to use ORM, we have other options as well. We have db.query like MySQL. If we install MySQL 2, we have db, and then we can use db.query, those commands to query our database. But I find sequelize much better to use. That is why I am telling you with the help of sequelize. If you wish, you can use it using MySQL 2 library as well. Okay, it's your wish. So yeah, so now we are able to connect to our MySQL successfully. So now the next thing that we need to do is, now we need to create a model. So what is a model? So model is nothing but you need to tell your Node.js code, right? Like how your user table is going to look, what all fields it is going to have. So you need to create a model for that. You need to tell your Node.js code that what your different tables are going to look like. Okay, so we are going to now create a model. So let's start with the creation of models. uh, I'm going to create a new file. So again, this would be JavaScript only. Okay, I'm going to save it and I'll call it model.js. So like we can have different models in different files. So simply actually you can have different models in the same file. So I'm going to create a single file. Inside that I'm going to create users model and restaurant model. So this is the name of the file, model.js. Fine. Okay, so what we'll be needing here, we'll be needing data types here. So data types, because we need to define data types, so we'll be requiring it from again your sequelize only. Sequelize is going to bring you data types. Okay, then const sequelize is equal to one more thing. So now we have defined this sequelize in our db connect, right? This sequelize is defined here, right? So we need to export it. Like otherwise what we'll need to do, we'll need to define this in every file. I don't want to do this in every file. So what I'll do, I'll export this sequelize. So how do we export in Node.js? We have module.exports in Node.js, and what will define sequelize. I'm going to simply export my sequelize over here, and I'm going to require it now. So these things, like those who are familiar with Node.js, they might be knowing, but those who are not, you will have to learn these things. You can take like LetsUpgrade classes on Node.js, so you would be more familiar with it. Okay, so like this we can require sequelize from db connect now. So my db connect had the sequelize, I exported it, and I can use it over here now. Okay, so I required it over here now. Okay, so now how we create a table? Simply const users. I'm going to call it user. Actually it will append an s automatically, so simply I'm going to create user, not users. Okay, pay attention to this. Sequelize dot define. So we need to define how our table is going to look like to our Node.js. So here we are going to give our table name, it is user, and then we are going to define our fields. So very first field was id, right? So id was what? If you see, id was integer, primary key, auto increment, and automatically it will be not null. Okay, so here we are going to write type. So it will be data type. So data type would be data types dot integer. So the data type is defined here. So is it a primary key? So you have to give true or false here. So what we did, we created it as a primary key, right? So we'll have to give true. Okay, Then next thing would be auto increment. So yeah, it auto increments. Yes, true. It auto increments. Fine. So these fields are there for ID. These three things are there. So now coming to the next thing, that is name. So name. So name, what all things it is going to contain? We created name only, right? Huh. So type is varchar. Then it is not null. Okay. So type data types dot string. So in case of in Node.js, it understands string and these things, not varchar. So we type string over here. Fine. Then next thing was not null, right? So allow null. So allow null is the property. So we will have to give false over here. So no, we cannot allow null over here. It needs to have some value. Okay. So uh, these are two fields. Now the third field was email. Okay, so email. So I'll just quickly copy now, otherwise it is going to take much time like that. So but one thing over here would be in email it should be unique always, right? So you need to give unique true. Okay, similarly the fourth field was password. Type data type dot string, allow null false. Okay, so these were only okay, phone number is also there. So quickly let's add phone number. So data types dot integer, allow null false. Okay, and this should also be unique. No two person should have the same phone number. Okay, so yeah, we have created one model over here. So any doubts in this model thing? Anyone? Mohit says it's like defining schema. Correct. Like for those people who are familiar with MongoDB, right? Mongoose and MongoDB, it's very very similar to that only. Actually, I always prefer using MongoDB for projects such as Zomato because they are scalable and they are large scale. But like since it was a boot camp only, so we decided to use MySQL over here. So that is why we are using MySQL. Otherwise we would be covering this entire project in our primary classes using MongoDB. Any doubts, anyone? So model is equal to schema. Correct. Model is equal to schema. Now simple, I'm going to export this file so that I can use this in my other files. Okay, so user is exported. Mohit says Prisma and PostgreSQL would be better. Yes, obviously those are better, but those are like again different databases and not much common with everyone. So that is why we don't use them much in our boot camps. In boot camps, we only try to use those databases which are common and between college going students. So MySQL is the one that is common, that is why. Okay. Anyone, any doubts still here? I'm thinking to give you guys some break, take 5 minutes break and go through all the files and whatever we did till now and try to follow up with me. Then we'll proceed further, because if you are going to miss here, then it would be very difficult following further. Okay, just take some time. If you want some time, you can go back and come back again. But yeah, take your time and come back. I'll give you 5 minutes or 3 minutes, let's say. At 6:22, I'll wait till 6:25. I see attendance is going low. So the guy says MySQL is not scalable. It is scalable, but the ease of doing it. In case of MongoDB is very easy, whereas in case of this MySQL it becomes typical. Adding new columns, new columns to the table, new defining new schemas. It is all very easy in case of MongoDB, whereas in case of this MySQL it becomes difficult when the table grows, when the database grows. So Mohit says, what will you use for authentication? So I'll be using JWT token for authentication. So MongoDB is no SQL, correct? How to become good at full stack development? Any suggestions? So for becoming good at full stack development, just practice, 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 practice. If you are good with the concepts, try to build projects as much as possible, as many as possible. You have seen, right, like right now everything, most of the things are available on web. So like let's say you have to build Zomato, so you can think like right now as we were thinking, so you can think both at the front end level at as well as at the back end level. So very first thing na, you start with building a dashboard project. So in dashboard, user management, these kind of system if you start building, right, you will automatically start getting things. uh, so Mohit is telling how about using JWT tokens with salt and rounds. So actually yes, we can use salt and rounds everything here, but you see like I know that some people might be having knowledge on all these things, but most of you might be newbie to this or not familiar. So it would be difficult for them to grasp in such a short span of time. Like in a 2 hour session, it is very difficult to grab those concepts. So I'm keeping it as simple as possible. So simple JWT token also I'm not planning to keep it right now. I'm simply going to create a login API where I'll be simply fetching the username and password from the backend, and I'll be matching it with my request body username and password, and if it matches I'll be simply sending logged in successfully. I'm not going to send any JWT token or anything because it would be difficult for everyone to grasp over here. And then yeah, Mohit says correct, OAuth would be difficult. Yes, OAuth then integration would be very difficult. We have different OAuth, like we can use either like Google or Okta or anything. We can use third party libraries, but again that would be very difficult for now in a 2 hour session. Okay, I hope you guys are back. So let's proceed. Any doubts up till here? Guy says Node.js versus Golang, your thoughts? So I always prefer using Node.js actually, since I'm a full stack developer and that too JavaScript developer only. So what happens is working on a single language throughout is very easy as compared to handling multiple languages. So in between actually I started working on Java Spring Boot on the backend side. So yeah, it was a difficult part for me handling both at once. So it's better to keep both your front end as well as back end on the same platform if you are a full stack developer. I would recommend so. So guys, please be interactive. Like please put your thoughts in comments. I see like Mohit is such a good person. Like he is continuously interacting and giving his suggestions in a similar manner. The guy also. But what about others? You guys are not following up. Keep it friendly. I'm not your sir or anything. Right now, I'm just a friend of yours explaining you about the backend technologies. I have also learned this in the similar manner as you guys, taking tutorials, taking classes. In a similar manner, you guys can also do it. Aditya says, what are the projects that one should build? Okay, so as I told, like if you are a new, then you can start with building a dashboard project, okay, a user dashboard in which a user can input their, like, you can do all the crude operations there, creating user information, reading it, updating it, deleting it. Okay, so when you are familiar with one database, right, how to do multiple operations on your one single database, on single table, so after that you can do it on multiple data tables, then link them with each other and all those stuff. So then it is not very difficult. So start with dashboard. After that, start building e-commerce projects such as a clone of Flipkart or Amazon. After that, start with your food delivery app clones. Okay, so so Mohit says it would be good to use turbo repo so that we can use next and golang together. Correct. Like next.js and along with golang it would be helpful. Correct. Navitha Reddy says okay, good. No, okay, fine. So I see most of you are like there. I thought you guys are not there, but yeah, if you are guys are there, then it's good. Okay, let me continue now. Okay, so we are done with this part of like creating our schema, or you say model. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create an API that is going to register a user. Let's say register user. So we want to create, like, right now what is happening, our table is there, user table is there, but it is empty. I want to fill some data, I want to create a user, so I'm going to create an API for that. So I'm going to use my index.js only. Fine. So uh, I'll simply create an API app.post. So since I'll be adding some data to my database, I'll be using a post API, and I'm going to name it register user. Register user. Okay. And since now we are going to interact with our database, so we'll be using asynchronous functions over here. So you guys, if you guys are familiar with JavaScript, you might be knowing about async and await. Asynchronous functions, what are those? So that is what we are going to use over here now. Okay, so fine. So now whenever I will be hitting this particular API register user, I'll be sending these fields, right? What fields? Where it is? My like ID I do not need to send, it is auto increment. Name, email, password and phone number, these four fields I need to send, right? So I'll be receiving them in my front end, in my back end, sorry. So name, email, password, phone number. Okay, so where I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this from request.body. Okay, so I'll simply log them just to test if I'm getting everything properly or not. Name, email, like that. Only two fields I'll be checking. Fine. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to like create a user. So how to create? So again I'll be using, like, I'll be requiring my user model over here. So const user is equal to require dot slash user, sorry, model. So from my model my user would be coming. Fine. So what I'm going to do is const new user is equal to await. Now I'm going to do an operation. So since it is an asynchronous operation, I'll need to use await keyword over here. So await user dot create. Okay, so user dot create is there. So what it does is I'll pass my fields. So it should be same as we have in our model. So name, email, password, phone number. So same like case also, uppercase, lowercase, same spelling, nothing should be different. So let me cross verify. Name, email, password, phone number. Name, email, password, phone number. Okay, so everything is correct. Fine. So this would we will be receiving from front end. So name, comma, email, comma password comma phone number. Okay, so this is we would be creating. So I'll be checking. uh, I can check the response of this one, but for now let's log what we get in new user. Okay, so this our API is ready. We are not sending any response to our front end, but yeah, we are ready to post some data into our table. Okay, so let's try it out. So my database is connected. Let me quickly run this. Nodemon index. Okay, it crashed. I made some mistake, I guess. Throw error event. Mm, what is the issue here? Okay. My port is already in use. 8080. Okay, my server is running somewhere, I guess. Okay. So my server is already running over here. So that is why I got that error. So no issues. So my SQL is also connected. My server is also running. So let's go to Postman and try this operation. Okay, let me read the comments first. Uh, Mohit seems genius. Can we connect Mohit on LinkedIn? Yes, Mohit has much knowledge. It's good to see. Uh, Sir, which tech stack do you work on? I work on JavaScript, so React.js, like Mun stack. So also similar to Django models. Also, why can't we use other functions? Only async has to be used. See, the operations which you think are going to take some time. So for that we need to use async. Otherwise, what will happen? Like JavaScript is a synchronous language. So what it will do, it will jump off if some function is going to take some time. It will jump off to the next function without waiting for the previous one. So that you want to avoid, right? So that is why we use async and await. Otherwise, we can use promises. Okay. Uh, the guy says, explain line number 14. So line number 14. Okay, so this is nothing but your object destructuring. So what you can consider it as, I'll write it down for you so that you will understand. Const name is equal to request dot body dot name. Okay, similar manner const email. So for those people who is finding this syntax difficult, you can follow this syntax. Const password. So this thing and this thing are entirely similar. So you either so this thing and this thing are entirely similar. Either you can use this or you can use that. Okay. So it was nothing but your object destructuring. I was finding the object properties with the same name as in the request.body. So request.body.name, email, password, phone number. Okay. Okay, so now let's everything is set up, everything is running. Now let's go to Postman and check if it is working or not. So our endpoint is register user. It is a post API. So I need to add the fields that we need to send. So let's say name. It would be John. Name, email, password, and phone number, right? phone number, let's say 123, like that. Okay, so I think we are set to send this. Let's send and let's see what happens. Okay. It went to an error. Let's see what error we got. uh, so we got the data over here, no issues in that. We were able to get our name and email. So what it says, unknown column created at in field list. SQLized database error. Insert into users ID, name, email, password, phone number. Okay, created at, updated at. Okay, so sorry. The SQLize actually expects these two fields also. So the parameters it sends is these. So let me quickly add those as well. Should I put them in my model? Uh, what should I do? Let me go to this SQL. So this created at and updated at, these two fields, do we need to add in the schema or not? I'm not very sure. Okay, let me add it. If anyone has any idea about these fields, do we need them or not, you can let me know in the comments. As I told, like, I have not been using MySQL from a long time, but yeah, let's try. Data types dot, this would be date time or what? Date time. Okay, so let me just copy and update at, updated at. Okay, let me try again. Let's see. Again we got into error. I guess this time data type is mismatching. Unknown column created at in field list. Okay, this is fine, but I guess we need to add in our table also. So what we'll do, alter table, and or what I'll do is I'll use this only. GUI to add alter table. Okay, so let's add created at, and so column name would be created at, sorry, delete, created at. Okay, data type would be date time. Okay, similarly updated at. Okay, data type would be date time. Okay, spelling is correct, everything is correct, and let's apply this. Alter table, add column, phone number, after only created at. let's do this. Okay, so this script has run properly. Let's refresh the database. Okay, so we have created that and updated that. Let's try now, and here let me change to date time. We have no date time, we don't have time, we have. Okay. Let's try again. It's running, and yeah, this time it worked because I didn't get an error response. So yeah, I got the values because I logged them. So if you see, what we did is we logged the new user, right? So we got the new user some values. Okay, so now let's quickly go to our database and refresh it and see if we got any values. So how we can check the values over here? Let's write a query. Select star from users. Right. Let's run it. No database selected. Use first DB. Okay. Then select star from users. Okay, so see now in our table whatever data we had sent from our postman, right? So it has been updated over here, right? Everyone can see, right? So we have like finally written an API which is helping us to like put some data from our front end. Our front end was what right now postman, right? So from our postman we are able to send some data to our MySQL database, and the data is getting reflected over here, right? So we created a user, right? So now let's like properly like since we are able to do it, now let's properly put it in a try and catch block so that any error we can handle. So try this and then catch error, and if console simply console.log error. Okay, and if this thing happens then response dot status dot status 200 or 201 dot send user created successfully. Okay, fine. So this is done. My server is now running properly. Now let's try properly. Okay, so now I should get a response also in my front end. Okay, so now let's create another user. So tell me some name. What should I use over here? You guys tell me. Any name. Let's add Mohit's name. Okay, so Mohit has been very interactive today. So let's use Mohit @gmail.com. Password, let's say full stack @123. Phone number, let's say 1234. Okay. The guy says Modi. Yes. Next user I'll add Modi. Okay. So now I'm going to click on send. Let's see what happens. So you see you got a response as well, right? So status 201 created, user created successfully. So now if you'll go to your database, right, and refresh it. What happened? Okay, I need to run this query again. Yeah, so you see now Mohit is also here in the database, correct? We can use Postman extension in VS Code for testing, right? Oh, okay. Navitha, I haven't ever used a Postman extension in VS Code, so thank you for telling. I'll also check it out after this. I'll search if we have an extension. Yes, oh great. I haven't ever used. Thank you for letting me know. I use this Postman software only every time. So yeah, next time I'll use this. Thank you. So yeah, let me close this. Okay, so till here it is. So yeah, the guy is asking why it is compulsory to create created at and updated at column. So I guess actually the guy I am also not sure about it. Actually, this is happening because of sequelize. The sequelize library that we are using, right? So using this only we are creating a model, right? So I guess this CQLize expect this created at and updated at field every time. So that is why by default it is sending. If you see the error message over here, right? So by default it was sending these two fields, created at, updated at, and values also. I didn't send. See, these two values came from itself. So these are happening because of CQLize, I guess. So that is why. Okay, so one API we have written successfully. So that API was to register a user. So we are successfully able to register a user. So now let's quickly create another API to log in a user. Okay, so app.post, the endpoint would be login. So async request response. Okay, so two things would be requiring again. So I'll be using destructuring only. So let's say email and password with which I'll be identifying the user is equal to request dot body. Okay, so what operation I have to do is const find user is equal to await user dot find one. So find one. Okay, and where, like this is kind of the where clause of your SQL query, where email is equal to email, email barabar email, like email equal to email. Okay, fine. So if find user, so if this happens, so what we should do, we should find the password of this user. So how I'll do it, I'll tell you. First let me console.log the find user. Okay, so let's try this API till here. Okay, if it is working, if it is bringing me the user whose email I am passing there or not. Okay, so so let's go to our postman login, and let's use Mohit's only. So email and password, these two things I need to send. Okay, so let's click on, I have saved it, right? I've saved it, it started. Let's send it. Okay, it gave me an error. Let's see. Okay, expected double quoted property name in JSON. Let me quickly log my request body, if everything is proper over here or not. The same. What is wrong over here? Slash login, expected double quoted property name in JSON. Oh, sorry. I'm sending an extra comma from here, right? So this was the mistake. Okay, let me quickly run it again, like save it and it will run again. So yeah, it is running again. Now I'll send it again. So you see, we are getting something. So in the find user, we are getting what? Find user is an object. So find user dot data values dot password. I guess by using that I can get dot user dot data values let me print it till here. Let's see if I am getting the only the values which are required, like I need the password only, right? So that I can match. Okay, so it gives me an error. Okay, cannot redefine data values. Let me check if it is not coming in an object format. I'll have to check what we can do. Okay, so it is giving me undefined. Find user dot user is giving me undefined. So what I'll have to do is I'll use json.parse on it. Okay, then const data is equal to json dot parse this. Okay, console dot log data dot user. Let's try this time. No, it crashed. uh, Undefined. It is not able to parse it also, I guess. This is not coming in JSON format, so this is an issue. We'll have to check it. Yeah. So, let me do one thing. JSON dot stringify first. Let's try it again. Yeah, so this time we got in a proper object format, so I can get the password from here. So data dot password. Okay, let's try again. So yeah, I got only the password. Okay, don't get confused with this one. So now what I'm going to do, if you got the user, right, so what you have to do, if data dot password equal to this password which you received from request dot body, sorry, equal to password. Okay, so simply response dot status 200 dot send logged in successfully. Okay, else response dot status dot send 400 1 unauthorized, invalid username or password. Okay, so our login API is done. So let's quickly check. Correct. Mohit is telling, wouldn't it be better if we use not of find user? So we can use, otherwise we can simply put an else condition over here, and we can say response dot status 200 dot send user does not exist, kindly register. Okay, fine. So we are done with our API, our login API. So let's quickly check it. So Mohit is there and password is also correct, so we should get logged in successfully. Yeah, so you see we got logged in successfully. So let's say if I change the password here, something only full stack I'm writing, and I send. So you see we got an response, invalid username or password. Okay, and let's change the email now. I'll randomly add some email. We should get that username does not exist. So you see we got user does not exist, kindly register. So our login API is perfectly working. So I hope it was clear till here, like how we wrote the login API, how we found the user in the database, how we created the user and everything. So because if till here it was clear today, so tomorrow, like the way we created a user, right, similarly we will be creating a restaurant like table. We'll be adding fields, adding restaurant, then a menu, then we will be linking user and menu by a order table. So all those stuff we will be doing. So then our Zomato backend API would be ready, completely ready. So I hope it was a knowledgeable session for you guys. You understood whatever we did. Since time is going to be nearly up, I am now going to take feedback from you guys. If you want me to improve anything, or if anything was not understood by you guys, please let me know. Okay, guys saying, can you explain what you did on line number 40? So okay, actually what was happening is, if you see the guy earlier, the data that we were getting na, when I printed user, when I was printing find user, right, so we were getting the data in this format. So this is not a proper object, this is not a JSON format. So I need to convert this into JSON format so that I can fetch the password. So what I did is I converted this into a complete string by using json.stringify. Then once it was converted into a string, then I parsed it into JSON format using json.parse. So finally I was able to get something like this, like this, correct? So this is what I did there. Okay, Anime told it's a nice session. It was a wonderful session. Thank you guys for the review. Anyone else? Anything that you did not like about me? So I'll try to improve in tomorrow's session. Uh, you'll don't worry. You will be getting these files after tomorrow's session, so you can refer to these files. Overall session is nice. Thank you, Navitha. The guy, you are a very good teacher. Thank you, the guy. Okay, Hero Gaming says HM. Okay, not need. Oh, Yamik says not need JWT. No, actually we need JWT, but since there is a time constraint, that is why I haven't included JWT, because explaining JWT is again a different kind of session. It takes around 15 to 30 minutes to explain about JWT. So that is why I haven't included JWT over here. Yeah. Safwan is telling, can you give the code? So yeah, I'll ask the session moderator to provide this code. I'll provide the code to the session moderator. They will provide it to you. Okay. Otherwise, you can anytime go through this video and you can just take screenshots of the code. Okay. I would request you guys to please try this on your own systems. Okay, so that when we do it tomorrow, you guys are like matching up with my speed and are at the level till which I have completed. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I hope I am done with the session. I'll ask the session moderator to end the session now. Thank you. It was nice interacting with you all. It was a wonderful session. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.